Know all my passwords, but you don't need them things. You trust me? They think we crazy. Head over heels. I love your mind.
Man, my perspective on relationships before Christ was messed up. To the up. At first I wanted a relationship, you know, where there was commitment, honesty, and all that stuff. But I got my heart broken by a young lady that I really loved and cared about, and very attractive. And I was young, and that really did it for me. It caused me to go to a downward spiral and really mistreat young ladies. I mean, I just saw women as just something to be used for money, used to show off for my homeboys, a trophy, or I mean, I was bad at a young age. I mean, a lot of it came because of the music I was listening to and the environment that I surrounded myself in. After I was finished a relationship, most of my relationships after a young lady stepped into my life, she walked away with a lot of scars, a lot of pain, and I left a really memorable heartbreak on her life because of the heart that I had. And you know, there's a saying, hurt people hurt other people. So I was hurt and I was broken, and because of that hurt and brokenness, I couldn't trust any young lady at all. And that was my perspective before Christ. But after Christ, the Lord began to show me how precious I was, and how I was just trying to, because of the area where I was in my life, where I felt like I always had to prove something, always had to, you know, go over the top, and it was reflected in my behavior, even when it comes to relationships and showing up with my friends. So now that God has shown me how precious I was, and how precious especially my body was, that if you have a low self-esteem as a man, it's reflected in you dropping your seeming, your future son and daughter, in any opportunity that open up when it comes to a young lady. So reason being is because you're dropping off a part of you, and if you have no value for where you drop a part of you, it says a lot about you as a man and how you lack self-control. So the Lord began to restore that in my life, self-control and value, and now I see relationships through God's eyes. I see relationships as an exchange. If it's a godly relationship, there's an exchange of one person to the next person for a purpose, and that purpose is to, number one, get them closer toward God. Then number two, for you to get to know them, and for them to get to know you and lead them to marriage. You know, so my relationship has changed because of the change that God did in my life, and it has brought change to me and Nelson's relationship, and it has been kept pure, even in our friendship all the way up to this point.
No kissing.
Yeah, we haven't even kissed. You know.
No booty touching.
You know.
No hanging out after 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Not even on the phone after 10 o'clock, because I'm going to spend the rest of my life there. Why would we want to taint, you know, what God has put together before, when we can really enjoy a whole lifetime together? Because in actuality, he's not my husband right now. I'm still his sister in Christ. And so we just, you know, we love being friends. We love each other. We really, really do. But we respect one another until that day.
Yeah, and that's the reason being because of this. When you come into Christ, there's whole new standards that God puts in your life, and it's there because of you realizing how precious you are and how God sees you. I know in God's sight, him as being my father, I'm a young king, because guess what? He's a king. So if I'm his child and we're his children, that makes us young kings and queens. So there's a certain way a king and a queen carries himself. So these standards are not just a whole bunch of rules and regulations and all that stuff. It's something that has been developed because of the value and how God has caused us to see ourselves and how we should treat each other. Because I want my future kids, by the standard that I set, and both of us, our future children, we want our future children to, that standard we set in our lives, that they have a model and an example of what love looks like So if it doesn't match up to the standard that you've seen and that you grew up in, it's not love. It's just how they say a counterfeit, you know. So that's how we see relationships, and you know, for me also.
Okay, for me, before my review about relationships was like, it's all about me. I'm Dime Diva. Okay, I was first I was looking for love now, but just in all the wrong places, got my heart broken, you know, and then I was like, you know what, no dude is not gonna use me no more, no dude is not gonna hurt me no more, I'm out to get me. I was in different relationships, very promiscuous, and you know, I said I would never get married. This was my thought. This was the devil had me. This how crazy the devil fooled me, because I felt like, why get married if I'm gonna be cheated on? Why get married if I gotta constantly check your phone, if I gotta endure like personal abuse verbally and all of that? So I was just like, man, I'm good. I'm not gonna get married. But then when Christ came into my life, he began to show me my value, change my heart, and heal me from all my past hurts. And that began to give me a desire to be a wife, to want to love somebody for the rest of my life, to work together even in ministry to help bring somebody else out. And I'm like, man, you know, like, you changed my heart from saying I'll never get married into just waiting every single day, like, when is the day, like, you know. And I just thank God for that. So that's how he changed me.
How did I know that she was the one for me? Because years ago the Lord showed me who my wife was,